Hello, my Freida Mcfadden fans. As you can see, I just started reading The Inmate from Freida Mcfadden, and let me tell you, I love reading books, but something about it, when I went to Barnes& and Nobles and I went to go pick up these two books, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna read it. So this was my very first book from Freida Mcfadden, and let me tell you, it is phenomenal. But let's not get into that. The main reason why I'm going to do this book review is because I said how phenomenal this one is. I actually finished reading the famous book that everybody's been talking about, as you guys can see, The Housemaid. And let me tell you something, guys. They have a movie that's coming out on December 19th. I'm actually going to see it the 18th. I like seeing my movies the day before it comes out, like on a Thursday. Well, anyways, everybody's talking about this famous movie that's coming out, but the funny part is that I actually wanted to read this book before the movie even came out. And then when I thought about reading the book, because I was just finishing up with The Tenant. The Tenant is actually good too, by Freida Mcfadden, guys. Y'all need to check that out, because I read this book first and then I read The Tenant after that. And The Tenant is really good, like The Housemaid, but it's a whole different story, but really good. So as I was reading this, I seen the trailer came out, and I said to myself, you know what? I'm not going to look at the trailer, because guys, I did not look at the trailer. I wanted to finish up the book first before I can say, you know what? I'm gonna go look at the trailer. So yeah, I'm not gonna tell you guys what happened in the book, but what I would suggest is, before you guys even go to the movie theaters to watch that movie, The Housemaid, I would suggest you guys read the book first. Trust me, you'll thank me later if you read the book first, and then you get a better understanding of what's actually going to happen in the movie and what's the movie really going to be about. The plot doesn't really tell you much about it. The synopsis don't really tell you much about it. It's best if you read the book itself. Now, as far as the book, as you guys can see, I noticed that they changed the cover picture, and I know like a lot of you guys don't like that, because I seen the other cover picture of this book. I don't know why they necessarily changed it for. Yes, Amanda Seyfried, yeah, she's a good actress. Okay, I'm glad they actually picked her, but they didn't really need to be on the cover of this, because I was trying to get the original one. The original cover is blue, guys. But anyways, she's a good actor. And then also Sydney, she's a good actor too, because I remember she played in The Voyagers years ago in 2021, and she did a really good job playing in that movie. As far as the character Millie, when I'm reading the book, I'm not telling you guys what happens in the book. I'm just gonna tell you the characters' personalities. So anyways, I love how the book starts off with each different character personality. Like, for instance, Millie, they did a good job picking this actress to play Millie, because Millie comes off as innocent and, you know, desperate. She needs a job, okay? Nobody knows her backstory. That's why if you read the book, you'll know the backstory. But she's a very innocent person. She's desperate, and no other job won't hire her. So she's young too as well. I think she's 10 years younger than this one, Nina. So anyways, she's a desperate person that needs a job, and of course a wealthy couple, as you can see, hires her. So anyways, I'm not gonna get into that. But Nina, so when I finished the book though, guys, I read the whole book. I ate this book up. It took me 3 days because I had a lot going on in my personal life, but I ate this book up. And when I tell you, oh my gosh, I left no crumbs, guys. This is really a good book, very descriptive, and I was like, dang. So then I started to look at the trailer, and I was like, oh my gosh, I hope Nina personality in the book, baby, she is very, I will say one thing, she's an itch, okay guys, because the way she treats Millie, it's really you guys gotta see. But the person Nina, she's not that nice type of girl. So when I read the book, I was like, okay. Me looking at the trailer, I don't know guys, what do you think when you look at the trailer of The Housemaid and you see Amanda Seyfried playing Nina? She looks a little bit too nice, but in the book she's not too sweet and nice like that. She comes off as evil, you know. So I just hope when I do watch the movie, she comes off as like described in the book, you know, evil, a witch, you know what I'm saying? Like just crazy. Because she does not like Millie at all. She despises that bitch. She don't like Millie at all. And then the fact that because Millie's young and beautiful, maybe I don't know if she had a little bit of jealousy at first in the beginning of the book, but when you guys read it, you will understand why she did what she did. But anyways, I just hope, guys, the movie's better than the trailer, because I seen two of the trailers, and like I said, Nina is not giving Nina in the trailer, and I just hope she doesn't do that throughout the whole movie. I want to see the evil side of Nina. I don't want to see the nice side, you know, because she's giving up a little bit too nice and soft, and Nina's not nice in the book, guys. So Millie, I can see Millie acting soft because, you know, she's getting she's applying to be a housemaid, a live-in housemaid. So she acts soft and desperate in the beginning because she has no other job that won't hire her. But nobody knows her past, but I can't tell you guys unless you guys read the book. But anyways, the other characters that I've seen in the trailer, which is her husband, Andrew Winchester. He's given off Andrew Winchester because they described him as a handsome guy. And he's very nice and sweet in the beginning. Never judge a book by its cover. Okay, guys? So you guys got to watch read the book. Definitely read the book. Okay, because don't go off on the movie. Because, like, I mean, you could go watch the movie, but then you guys going to feel like, you know what, I need to read the book now so I can get a better understanding. But to me, I said to myself, you know what, it's better off to read the book and then go watch the movie. You guys get what I'm saying? And then they have Enzo. He's an Italian guy. You know, he's at first he comes off as not understanding English. So they'll get more into that. But they picked the right characters. I think they picked the right characters for everything. And then the little girl, Cecilia, she's a little brat. So I just hope the little girl in the movie, the actress plays her well in the movie as a brat. You know, evil little girl. Anyways, I love the book. I don't think about reading part 2 and part 3. I love the book. Since I already done read like 3 of Mcfadden's books already, I'm gonna take a little break because I want to catch up and read the watch the movie and then do a little think and discuss comparison, you know. So compare and comparison to see like, okay, the book versus the movie. I'll do that. But let's get into it. Honestly, my favorite character in the book, guys, I love Enzo because Enzo is human. Everybody, I don't know, all those other characters in the book, it does not sound human to me. They're all fucked up. They're all crazy. Everyone is crazy except for Enzo. He's the only nicest guy in the book. Like, he's the type of person, like, you don't do that to others. Treat them how you wish you were treated. And he just has, I just feel like he's human. He's a caring person, you know what I'm saying? And I hope it shows in the movie that he's a very caring person because he don't wish bad on others and everything. He don't like when other people's going through other things. And that's why I love Enzo. Enzo's my favorite character, and I hope that he plays him very well in the movie as well. He's the only one that I say, okay, he's a little bit real, but okay. As far as the maybe I could go with the inmate. The inmate, guys, I really like this book. At first, when you first read it, it's like a slow burn, but then once you get to the middle to the end, it starts picking up. You start seeing all the hot, spicy stuff that you ever wanted to see. That's what Freida Mcfadden does. In the beginning of the book, what I love that she always tells a story. Because if without a story, you're not gonna understand anything. So she always tells a story. And then when you get to the middle, I will say middle because I done read like 3 of her books already. This was the first one. The second one was The Tenant, and then The Housemaid. The Housemaid was the third book. And then I read Stephen King The Long Walk. But anyways, what she loves to do is tell a story, the whole beginning of the book, and you're just like, but then and when it gets to the middle, you're like, okay, now I understand why she told the story to begin with. In the middle, it starts picking up, and then you start seeing characters' personalities. So when I read throughout this whole book, you know, they have a whole different bunch of characters in this book. And so far, my favorite character in this book is Josh, which is her son, because like I said, he's the only one that's very, you know, you would think he's a sensitive little boy, vulnerable, you know, he loves his mom, Brooke Sullivan. But the reason why I love Josh, because everyone in this book again is messed up, just like in The Housemaid, and Josh is the only innocent one. He even has his babysitter taking care of him, which is not necessarily the real babysitter, but I'm not gonna get into that. You guys gotta read the book. I can't tell y'all spoilers. Anyway, so he's a sweet kid. You know, he cares about his mom and everything. He goes to school, you know. And so the very last ending, you will see why the ending happened the way it happened and the epilogue. And what I love about Freida Mcfadden, some of her epilogues be really, really good. And you're like, okay, I need to see the epilogue. The epilogue is basically the moral of the story. What happens? How did this come to become what it became? You get what I'm saying? So every time in the end of her book, she always put an epilogue, and I love that about her in every single book. And I was shocked she even put one in this book. So I'm thinking, okay, so what's going to happen in The Housemaid at the end? Because I've already seen what happened at the end. So what's next? Is there something I'm missing? You know? But guys, I just feel like it's worth reading the book. And then her books, what I love about it, she makes them so interesting that it catches the viewer's attention, like where you're never gonna put the book down. It's not boring, because you know some books is boring and you're like, okay, I cannot read this. I'll read it another day. I'm not interested in reading it later on today. But her books is like something like you like, you know what, I need to finish reading this. I need to see what happens next. And you're like guessing and guessing and guessing and guessing. So this is the next book I'm going to read, guys, but I'm going to wait to read this book until after the movie, The Housemaid. Oh, yeah, guys, and also when I go see the movie on the 18th, I even got me a t-shirt that has Freida Mcfadden on her, but they gave her a little nickname. It's called Freida Rita. Freida Rita. So I'm going to wear that when I go see The Housemaid. And you know what? I'm probably going to do another video to explain what is the difference from the book to the movie, because then that way I can do a compare and comparison, because I know a lot of people's going to do that. And I'm just so anxious because the author herself said that the movie is better than the book. So if they switch things around from the book, or from the book they made things from the book a little bit better in the movie, then that's what I love. I don't want the whole movie, a whole completely difference from the book. I hope they just stay to the book, and if they have to change things up, they change a little bit things up that makes the movie better than the book. So that is that, guys. And like I said, Enzo's my favorite character. He's the only one that's human. I don't know about anyone else.